Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new deck profile video. I'm excited to bring you guys an update to the Photon Galaxy Therion deck list that I posted about 3 weeks ago at this point, maybe a month or so ago. And I've been doing a lot of Saturday Night Locals on the deck, doing some match reviews as well. If that interests you guys, definitely check those videos out. And a lot of you guys have been noticing that the deck list in those videos has changed since the last profile, and a lot of you guys have been asking for updates, and I said, you know what, I usually would wait a little bit longer, but why the hell not, because this is probably going to be one of the last Galaxy profiles for who knows how long at this point. Maybe when Delta Wing comes out, I'll maybe dip my toes back into the deck just for a little bit. But no guarantees, because we've got other decks to move on and show some love to over the next several months. So this is where I'm leaving it at after, a few weeks, a little over a month and a half, maybe 2 months of just testing with this deck and playing it a lot. I didn't really think I'd get back into the deck once Jumper came out, but I was wrong, and I've been enjoying playing the deck. Got some new cards for it, some rarity upgrades as well. So yeah. With all that being said, let's hop into the profile. Also, reminder, check out Imperium Duelist and my TCG Player affiliate links down in the description below. So yeah, let's hop into the profile here. Like usual, we will start with the monsters. First and foremost, we have the 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Hopefully, the next time I do a profile of this deck, I'll have the Quarter Century Secret Rares of this card when that is available. I think that set comes out this month here in August. So I might get my hands on those. The Ghost Rares would be ideal, but a little out of my budget for the time being, so these will have to do. But 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. You need this card in the deck. I've always said it. You just need 3. It's an unfortunate thing to have to need this card because it doesn't do anything in the hand most of the time. Doesn't do anything in the graveyard. But it's just setup and, activation requirements and all those things that require that card to be somewhere. So next up, we have 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. And I've also said this on video as well. This deck needs a good Galaxy Extender. We need to stop getting Photon monsters that are really good. I mean, I'll take them where we can get them, but we need a great level 8 Galaxy monster that says, like, if you control a Photon or Galaxy monster, special summon this card. And it had like 2,000 attack or something. Like, if we had a Galaxy card that just said that, it would be amazing. And then I had the opportunity to, like, make all light monsters you control like level 4 or level 8. That, like, we need that. That'd be amazing, because the Galaxy Soldier, as good as a card as it already is, will be so much better. And I think the thing that's best about this card at this point is the fact that it's a discard outlet for things like Jumper, triggering its graveyard effects, things like Orbital to make Regulus live, or you give a good summoner target, or discarding Emperor, right, to bring it out. And in fact, that also discard sets up a good search target for it, which is Galaxy Summoner, right? Bring back what you discard, make the Soldier a level 4 to get rid of that awkward fact that it's a level 5, make a rank 4 with it, etc., etc. So searches out your Wizards, searches out your Summoner, searches out Afterglow, searches out Brave in most cases with a higher Photon count. That search becomes a little bit more relevant. 2 copies of Galaxy Wizard. I think in the last profile I was playing 1. I've since gone up to 2. I still don't fully 100% agree with this change just yet, but for consistency's sake and just having more starters in the deck, higher chance of just seeing some way to play, I had to put Wizard to 2 in the deck. I'm not super happy about it, because I think this card is a solid one of, just because you don't want to open multiples of these, and a lot of times off Soldier I find myself going for Summoner as opposed to Wizard most of the times, but it's still a good card to see a decent chunk of the time. And then we have 1 copy of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, because it's Afterglow. This allows us to go for a game. It's a great extender. Pairs well with number 90, Felgrand, etc., etc. Detaching it, summoning out Galaxy Eyes, triggering Galaxy Hunter to rip a card out of their extra deck, on top of, being able to double the attack of all of our number Xyz monsters if we detach it during the battle phase, right? Just an insane card all around. The only reason I don't play 2 is just because it's a really bad card to draw, and we already have a decent amount of those cards, right, in this deck, like cards that require other cards to be in certain places for them to be live, and this is definitely one of those cards. We need to have a Galaxy Eyes monster already in play, And yeah, so it's definitely, you know, not the easiest extender to pull off. It definitely is its you know, niche requirements to be met, but I think as a one-of, it is okay. It's definitely recyclable through the Summoner, and it's also recyclable through the Galaxy Eye Soulflare Dragon as well. Then we have one copy of Galaxy Summoner. This is a great search target for your Galaxy Soldier. When it's normal or special summon, we can target a Photon or Galaxy monster in the grave, except itself, special summon, and defense. And then we can make it either, we can make a one light monster we control a level 4 until the end of the turn. I wish it's at 8 or 4, but this helps, again, to make things like Galaxy Soldier go from being an awkward level 5, since we're not playing any rank 5s, at least I'm not. You can make it a level 4 to become a rank 4 play. And then the last Galaxy monster in the main deck, the last Galaxy monster in the main deck here is Galaxy Brave. With a higher Photon count, with things like Orbital, with things like Jumper, Vanisher, Thrasher. Well, this card really doesn't have great synergy with Thrasher, but, you know, those cards, right? This card is a very good extender in the deck to be able to grab off Soldier, and I think it makes Soldier inherently a better card by having this card in the deck, so that's why I wanted to play it. Not mandatory, but I found every time that I cut Brave, I always end up missing it. So moving on, we have 3 copies of Photon Orbital. Yeah, this card is great. Obviously, good send target sometimes for Galaxy Hunter to equip with Regulus. Bridges your Photon stuff into your Galaxy cards. Really great card all around. Just definitely got to play 3. Yeah, just one of the best searchers in the entire deck. And this is the reason why, like, I talk about that this deck needs like certain cards to be in place in certain places to be able to use certain cards. Like, this deck needs ways to get bodies on field consistently, so you can use like your best card, for example, like Photon Orbital, one of the best searchers in the entire deck. So you need to be having normal summons, whether it's like getting Thrasher on field, or you're normal summoning a Jumper, or you're normal summoning another Orbital, whatever it may be, or using Brave. You just need bodies on field, so you can use cards like this again. So yeah, 3 Orbital I think will always be a thing. And then we have 3 Jumper. Now, I did think that when Delta Wing comes out, I really don't like that card right now in my current headspace with how I think about this deck. But maybe there could be a world where, like, 2 Jumper get replaced and become 2 Delta Wing. Just play the 2 copies and the 1 Jumper. And then the Delta Wing normal summon just becomes a little bit stronger because it brings out another body to make a 1 card rank 4. But 1 card rank 4s aren't great in this deck because, like, again, there's still no good 1 card combos, right? It's still unfortunate. So, I mean, I still like seeing this card. It's a good discard. It's a good normal summon. It's a good hand trap on its own. Yeah, so I like that card quite a bit. Definitely a 3 of, in my opinion. 2 copies of Photon Vanisher, basically 3 with Rhoda. One of the better extenders to be able to search mid-combo because you can summon it, and then Galaxy Photon Dragon makes it a level 8 and gets you a Galaxy Eyes to hand. And also chain blocks the search too, which is nice. Then I played 2 copies of Photon Thrasher. I think this is a new change as well. I think last time I was playing 1 Thrasher, but I've since bumped up to 2 because, again, I just want to make the deck a little bit more consistent, and Thrasher is definitely one of those cards that helps with that. It's not the most ideal card because it does have its issues, right? It doesn't pair well with the Brave, and this is also a dead card sometimes outright. And sometimes, like in certain hands, it's just like an awkward body that sits there. But at least it's a body nonetheless, can help you play, can help you link into Soulflare to get cards back, whatever it may be. And also, just being a 2100 body that you can summon to the field and like go into the battle phase and threaten things, like especially against like the Sprite deck, is kind of a nice thing to be able to have. Then we have 1 Photon Emperor. I think in my last build I was playing 2 of these. I've since cut it down to 1 because I've cut the trade-ins, and I'll explain why when we get to the spell lineup. But I've cut the trade-ins because I'm playing Prosperity again, because I just cannot make up my mind on those consistency cards. And also, Emperor is just not a good card to draw. This is a card that I want to be sending off of like 100, or I want to be adding to my hand when I already have Soldier in hand to discard it, or I'm sending off a Galaxy Photon Dragon. So a lot of the changes I've made is just to make the hands that I'm drawing just a little bit better, cutting down on some cards that make it harder for me to play, that attribute to more brick hands, right? So I wanted to drop Emperor down to 1. And hopefully the Bestial cards get hit, so this deck gets a little bit of some room to breathe. And then the last 2 monsters in the main deck, because, you know, I am still not playing hand traps in this deck. or 2 copies of Therion King Regulus. With the advent of, well, with me cutting trade-in, I could cut a copy of Regulus comfortably and add in 1 card I should have been playing in the first place, which is 1 copy of Therion Coliseum. This card you should definitely be putting in your deck right now if you don't have it in there already. It's such a great card to be able to add to the end board, I think, making it so your monsters can't be destroyed by battle one time, and also making it so when something is destroyed by battle, you get to add back a Therion from your grave to your hand, which lets you play next turn and also reestablish an Omni Negate, which is like so incredibly important. So definitely play Disc Coliseum for sure. Great card to be able to grab off of your Gigantic Champion. And we're still playing 3 Droplet. I know D-Shifter and Rise Heart are still a thing that we have to worry about, but if I'm getting shifted, I'm still losing anyways. Like, that logic has not changed, and this card has come in so clutch the time that I've been playing it, just absolutely breaking boards, discarding Emperors, Jumpers, Orbitals, and then just like OTKing my opponent, because, you know, it's better than Dark Ruler because we don't have to worry about like dealing no damage, which is great, and it just, like, again, wipes the field. Also pairs well with one of the side deck cards we're playing, which is Evenly Matched. Like, Evenly Droplet has always been a nice combo. Then we're playing 2 copies of Pot of Prosperity, because this is, it's just a better, on paper, it's just a better consistency card than Trade-In. I think I only wanted to play 2 because, again, I didn't want to draw multiples. I wanted just to add a little bit more consistency to the deck. Couldn't find a room for the 3rd one. And yeah, I mean, that's really about it, honestly. Like, you could probably play a 3rd one, but I think 2 is okay. Just adds in a few more starter cards to the deck to get that number up a little bit higher. Good high quality starter cards in the deck. I always try to banish 3 off of this if I absolutely need to, unless I'm absolutely literally unplayable. Then I'll go for 6, but it's like 90% of the time I'm just banishing 3, or I'm holding it till the end of my combo. To, like, you know, go ahead and grab more cards off of it if I need to, like hand traps post side or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's Prosperity. 2 copies of that. Moving on, we have another set of spells here, which is just 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent and 1 Call by the Grave, because we need ways to combat hand traps. Call by is also a decent going second card against some decks like Branded, and also like Dragon Link for hitting Heretic Seals. And also Talents is just Talents, right? So nothing really too crazy to say there about those particular cards. 1 reinforcement of the army. It's your 3rd copy of Thrasher. It's your 3rd copy of Vanisher. It's your 4th copy of Jumper. So it's a very, like, high utility card in this deck since we have a lot of search targets for it. Then 1 Foolish Burial. I don't know if I was playing this in the last update. I don't think I was. And I'm playing this because it is simply put a better copy of Galaxy 100. I'm playing 2 Galaxy 100 now as well, so we might as well bring that up while we're here. So the reason why I'm playing 1 Foolish 200 and not like 300 no Foolish or 300 and 1 Foolish is because 100 is a hard once per turn card. Like, there's no added value to drawing multiples of these, and I still wanted to play it at a higher card count just so I can, like, occasionally draw it, which means I don't have to search it, which means Jumper can search me like Expedition, or it can search me Trance, right? But we talked about, I think, in the past how 100 is like a good starter because it can dump Jumper, right? And that gets us into some plays if we have other extenders to work with. But Foolish Burial is the only, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, is the only 1 card combo this deck has, and I think it's number 90 plus an extra deck rip off of just Foolish Burial. And that's why I think it is so much better than 100. And you can't do that line off of 100 because the Foolish Burial line lets you send Jumper, and then you can grab 100 during that combo to use it to send something again, which is important because I believe you send Emperor and you do some plays from there. So that's why I like playing Foolish. Like, I'd rather draw 100 and Foolish than 2 copies of 100. So I think Foolish Burial is an absolute must in this deck now, mandatory card in this deck if you are going to play the Galaxy Technique. So definitely play Foolish. It's our only 1 card combo we have. We finally found the 1 card combo, guys. We finally did it. It's been in the TCG for who knows how many years, but we finally found it. Then we have 2 copies of Galaxy Expedition. I think this is single-handedly one of the best like extenders that we can search out, and I like playing the second copy because having another one in deck, you know, turn 3 really helps you push more, especially if you're like not able to use Galaxy Trance because you do like a Therion play. Having the second Expedition is nice. And then speaking of the Trance, one Trance, because this is a great OTK button. It's also like a great like Plan B / Last Resort card to go into if you just have like you know, dump Jumper off of Foolish or dump Jumper off 100, and you know, search the Trance there. So that is it for the main deck. Let's hop into the extra deck real quick, where I'm probably the most excited to go over some cards. And to start for the extra deck, we have one copy of the Bajuicer, one copy of Baguzka. Still playing this card because Droll and D-Shifter are still very, very popular cards in the format as I film this video. And in testing, this card has come up a lot, especially getting hit with Shifter against like Kashtira. You just summon this, and I mean, if they have Imperm for it, they have Imperm for it, but at least it's something that could potentially buy you a turn, and that's why I like this card so much. So I think it's definitely a really nice card to be able to play in here. I'd almost go so far as to say mandatory, especially when the format has things like Droll and things like D-Shifter. One copy of Starleash Photon Blast Dragon. This card's insane. Making your whole entire board unable to be targeted and destroyed by card effects is very nice. Summons Galaxy Eyes from your grave or banished, or just specs a Photon monster on summon. That's always nice. Then we have two copies of Galaxy Photon Dragon. The second copy has been coming up quite a bit in testing and in tournaments, so I'm really glad I am playing the second one. We play so many level 4s, and like those cards are only good if you have another Galaxy Photon Dragon to go into, and the fact that you have access to another send or search of pretty much anything in your entire deck on the following turn is very, very important. Again, has come up. One number 90, I still have never needed the second one. So yeah, I just literally have never needed the second one, so I don't think I'll need a second one going forward. One number 38 for the Spell and Trap Negate, or well, Spell Negate. Then we have our Cypher package consisting of Cypher Dragon and Blade, just for that extra removal. Then we have our OTK package consisting of 62 and C62. Phenomenal dynamic duo. Love these cards. And then one new addition to the deck is one copy of Divine Dragon Knight Felgram. Had to pick up the Ghost Rare because I used to have one of these back when I first started playing this deck back in 2014 when I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So I had to pick one up just for nostalgia's sake. But yeah, we play this card basically because it is a way to detach Afterglow turn 1 to make better end boards. It also can kind of help you play around Dark Ruler, because you can end on this in like number 90, and then you can go like standby phase, Felgram effect, target number 90, and then chain number 90 to search your trance or whatever it is for follow-up, and they're basically not going to be able to clear your number 90 unless they have something that's over 3k attack. Then they can get over it, but that's going to be easier said than done. So I don't know, I like this card. I'm trying over playing Cypher X. I'm back and forth on this card and Cypher X, but I think this card just like wins out most of the time and just being a better card overall. But I do see the merit for Cypher X. But also at the same time, it feels redundant to have Cypher X when you also have Blast Dragon, which is basically just Cypher X. You know what I mean? It's like kind of the same thing. And its standby phase effect is really nice too. But it's also, I feel like, just a win more card at that point. Like if you're resolving that, you're probably already in a winning position. And then moving forward, we have one Gigantic Champion Sargus, so we can still search out our Disc Coliseum, right, to be able to make Regulus plays happen. And also, this card pairs a lot better with having something like Felgram, because Felgram can just detach whenever, and then that triggers Gigantic Champion. And there's also something I kind of learned through testing with like Gigantic Champion Sargus. Not only does it bounce or pop your opponent's cards, it can do your cards as well. So like, for example, like if you already use 100 per se to rip something out of their extra deck, you can go like Felgram, detach Afterglow, and then Chainlink 1 Afterglow, Chainlink 2 Sargus, and you can bounce your 100 back to your hand, which is really great. So now you have this as follow-up. You're getting your extra body on field. You're taking advantage of that Sargus effect on your turn 1, which is always great. So it's a nice little combo you can do, something to keep in mind, where you can return like, I don't know, like an extra body on your field that you didn't end up doing anything with. But returning 100, I think, makes the most sense. Then we have Zeus, because you got to play the Zeus. And then we still have our 2 copies of Soul Flare. I don't think I ever, like, I feel like I rarely summon this card as of late. I think maybe 2 is not needed. Maybe with Prosperity is, I guess, I don't know, but like I don't ever recall summoning a second Soul Flare. Always one, at least always one, but two, I don't think I've ever summoned two. But again, you know, it's something that you might want to just keep in there just in case. Now the side deck, where we have 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, and obviously this is format dependent. But I like 3 Droll just because this does hit a wide range of decks. And then we have 3 copies of Book of Moon. This is mainly for like the Pearly matchup. You know, they set up their board, they have the trap. You know, they go like standby phase, draw, and then they go activate trap, and you chain Book of Moon, target, and set it, and then they don't get access to the Noir. This could honestly just be Ixie's Encore, but I feel like Book of Moon has like you know, better like utility against like other decks that aren't just like Pearly. It's also good against Cashier, obviously. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, because it's Harpy's Feather Duster. 3 copies of the good old Evenly Matched, because again, getting rid of back row is nice. And we have 3 copies of D-Barrier, because this calling Synchro against like Mana Dome, turn skipping them, calling Ixies against Cash, letting them commit to like Ixies plays. Yeah, you name it. This is a very, very solid card all around. And then last but not least, I have 2 copies of Magic Deflector. So this card is nice against mainly Runic and Pearly. That's why it's in here. Just again, more hate for Runic and Pearly because those matchups are very, very tough. And Magic Deflector is very, very good because it turns off quick plays, equips, and continuous and field spells. So negates them for the rest of the turn, which is really, really strong. So yeah, that is going to do it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. A little bit more love there to that beautiful Ghost Rare Felgran. Such a nice looking card, but yeah, I digress. That's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and sub. And as always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, a big thank you goes to our current Divine Level channel members who are Misfit, H8, Cyber, Cadillacs, Pony Stark, and Green. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your incredibly kind and very generous support of this channel.